A crippling winter storm is about to paralyze half of America, and the computer models just shifted overnight. 30 million people are now in the path of what could be the worst ice storm this century. The question everyone is asking, is your city about to lose power for over a week? Right now, winter storm watches stretch from New Mexico to Nashville. That is over 1,500 miles of severe weather alerts. Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, Charlotte, all under the gun. And here is what nobody is telling you. The storm track shifted north overnight, which means millions of people who thought they were getting snow are now facing something far more dangerous. Ice. Not just a dusting. We are talking about 1 to 2 inches of solid ice coating everything. Power lines, trees, roads, everything. Let me show you exactly what changed in the last 12 hours and why meteorologists across the country are calling this a forecasting nightmare. But first, I need you to do something. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from. Why? Because at the 30-second mark, I am going to reveal which cities are in the absolute worst danger zone, and you need to know if yours made the list. Here is what we know. 2 massive pieces of energy are colliding over the United States. One is Arctic air pouring down from Canada, the kind of cold we have not seen in years. The other is a moisture-loaded storm system, pumping water vapor all the way from the Pacific Ocean. When these two systems merge, and they are merging right now, they create what meteorologists call a bomb cyclone. This is not hype. This is meteorology. The European model, which has been the most accurate predictor for major winter storms, just updated this morning. And what it shows is alarming. The storm is strengthening faster than predicted. That means more wind, more precipitation, and a northward shift in the worst impacts. Cities like Charlotte, Greenville, Atlanta, places that were expecting significant snow, are now looking at catastrophic ice accumulations instead. Now let me explain why ice is so much worse than snow. A 1/4 inch of ice can snap tree branches. 1/2 inch will bring down power lines. 1 inch will cause widespread structural damage. And the European model is forecasting 1 to 2 inches of ice across a 300-mile wide corridor from northeast Georgia through the Carolinas and into southern Virginia. That is the 85 corridor. If you live along Interstate 85, you are in the bullseye. Here are the numbers that should wake you up. Over 10 million people could lose power. Some areas will be without electricity for 7 to 10 days. Why so long? Because after this storm passes, temperatures are plunging to 20 to 40 degrees below normal. That means repair crews will be working in single-digit temperatures, maybe even below zero in some locations. Ice does not melt when it is 15 degrees outside. Let me give you the timeline. Today is Wednesday. The storm arrives Friday morning across Texas and Oklahoma. By Friday afternoon, it hits Arkansas and Tennessee. Friday night into Saturday, the Carolinas and Georgia get hammered. By Sunday, the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are dealing with heavy snow. But here is the kicker. The worst conditions persist through early next week because of the brutal cold that follows. If you have not prepared yet, today is your last chance. Grocery stores are already seeing panic buying. Milk, bread, eggs, bottled water, all flying off the shelves. But you need more than just food. You need batteries, flashlights, blankets, prescription medications, phone chargers, and a way to heat at least one room of your house if the power goes out. If you have a fireplace, stock up on firewood today. If you have a generator, test it now and make sure you have fuel. Now, remember that question I asked you to drop in the comments? Where are you watching from? I am asking because I want to give you a personalized forecast. The difference between getting rain, ice, or snow could be just 20 miles. Your exact location matters. So comment below, tell me your city, and I will do my best to give you specific information for your area in the next video. Seriously, take 5 seconds and comment. It helps you, and it helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Let me show you what is happening in the atmosphere. High above our heads, about 7/10 of a mile up, there is a layer of air at or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the freezing line. Normally, winter storms have a clear boundary. North of the line, you get snow. South of the line, you get rain. But this storm is different. The warm air is trying to push north, while the cold air is locked in place at the surface. That creates a sandwich. Cold air at the ground, warm air in the middle, cold air up top. When precipitation falls through this sandwich, it freezes on contact. That is freezing rain. That is ice. The European model shows this setup persisting for 18 to 24 hours in some locations. That means ice is going to accumulate continuously for an entire day. Trees will snap under the weight. Power lines will come down by the thousands. Roads will become ice rinks. Emergency vehicles will not be able to respond. This is a life-threatening situation. Now, some of you are probably thinking, why did the forecast change? Great question, and this is where it gets technical, but I will keep it simple. The storm has two main energy sources. One is currently over California, the other is way up in Canada. Weather balloons have not sampled these systems adequately yet because one is over the ocean and the other is over remote terrain. So the computer models are making educated guesses. As we get more data, the forecast adjusts. That is why you saw a shift overnight. But here is the critical part. The shift might not be done. Models could still wobble back south a bit, or they could continue north. Right now, the European model is showing the storm stronger and further north than the American GFS model. Who is right? Honestly, probably somewhere in between. But I am leaning toward the European because it has been more consistent over the past 48 hours, and it tends to handle these complex winter storms better than the GFS. Let me give you city-by-city impacts based on the latest data. And please understand, these could still change, but this is the best information we have right now. Dallas-Fort Worth, you are looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow and sleet starting Friday morning. Major travel disruptions. Power outages likely. Temperatures will crash into the teens by Friday night. Little Rock, this is going to be ugly for you. Heavy ice accumulations, possibly ½ inch to 1 inch. Widespread power outages expected. Roads will be impassable by Friday evening. This could last through the weekend. Memphis, you are right on the edge. North of the city, heavy snow, 6 to 10 inches. South of the city, significant ice. Either way, you are getting hit hard. Plan for power outages. Nashville. The latest models have you in a bad spot. You are in the transition zone between heavy snow to your north and crippling ice to your south. Right now, it looks like you could see both, snow changing to ice, then possibly back to snow. Total accumulations of 6 to 12 inches of snow and sleet with ice in between. This is a disaster scenario. Huntsville, northern Alabama. You are looking at significant ice, possibly 3/4 of an inch to over 1 inch. This will cause major damage. Expect extended power outages. Atlanta, the good news is you will mostly miss the worst of this. The bad news is you are still getting ice, just not as much. Maybe 1/10 to 1/4 inch. Enough to cause problems, but not catastrophic. However, your bigger issue is the cold that follows. Temperatures will be in the teens for several days. Charlotte, this one hurts to report because it changed so much. Earlier this week, models showed you buried in snow, possibly over a foot. Now, the European model shows you getting crushed by ice instead. We are talking about 1 to 2 inches of ice accumulation. This would be the worst ice storm Charlotte has seen since 2000. Maybe worse. Power outages could last a week or longer. This is not a snow day situation. This is a stay home for several days situation. Greenville-Spartanburg, same story as Charlotte. What looked like a major snowstorm is now looking like a historic ice event. 1 to 2 inches of ice. Trees will come down. Power will be out for extended periods. Stock up now. Raleigh-Durham, you are in a tricky spot. You might start as snow, transition to ice, then back to snow. Total accumulations of 4 to 8 inches of snow and sleet with significant icing in between. Travel will be impossible. Richmond, Virginia. The models have shifted you more towards snow, which is actually better news. 6 to 12 inches of heavy, wet snow. Power outages possible, but not as severe as areas to your south. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia. You are getting a significant snowstorm. 8 to 14 inches of snow. This is a big one for you, but you are used to dealing with snow. The bigger issue is the cold that follows. New York City, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Northern suburbs could see more. This is going to slow you down, but it is manageable compared to what the South is facing. Boston, you are on the northern fringe. 3 to 6 inches of snow. The bigger story for you is the Arctic air that follows. Now, here is what almost nobody is talking about. The cold after the storm. This is not a typical southern winter storm where you get some snow and ice. Then it warms up the next day and everything melts. This time, the cold air locks in and stays. For over a week, maybe longer. By Monday of next week, after the storm has passed, temperatures will be 20 to 40 degrees below average across the entire eastern United States. That means highs in the teens and 20s where you normally see 40s and 50s. Overnight lows will be in the single digits, possibly below zero in some areas. What does this mean practically? It means that ice does not melt, snow does not melt, roads stay dangerous, power crews work in brutal conditions, slowing repairs, schools stay closed, businesses stay closed, supply chains get disrupted. This is not a 2-day event. This is a 10-day event when you factor in the aftermath. Let me put this in perspective. During the ice storm of 2000, parts of North Carolina and South Carolina were without power for over a week. Some rural areas were out for 2 weeks. Thousands of trees came down. Damage estimates topped $1 billion. And that storm had ice accumulations similar to what we are forecasting now, maybe less in some areas. The ice storm of 2014 was another one. Charlotte got 3/4 of an inch of ice. The city was shut down for 4 days. Hundreds of thousands lost power. And again, that was less ice than what we are potentially looking at this time. So, when I say this could be the worst ice storm of the century for some areas, I am not exaggerating. I am basing that on historical data and the current model forecasts. This has the potential to be a billion-dollar disaster. It has the potential to cause fatalities if people are not prepared. Now, I want to address something. Some of you might be in areas that shifted from snow to ice, and you are disappointed. I get it. Snow is more fun than ice. Snow is easier to deal with, but please understand, ice is far more dangerous. Ice brings down trees and power lines. Ice makes roads completely impassable. Ice causes injuries and deaths. So if your forecast changed from snow to ice, take it more seriously, not less. Also, I want to be clear. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to inform you. There is a difference. Fear without information is panic. Information without fear is preparation. My goal is to give you the facts so you can make smart decisions for your family. So what should you do? Here is your action checklist. Number 1. If you have not already, go to the store today. Do not wait until tomorrow. Get water, non-perishable food, batteries, flashlights, medications. If you have infants, make sure you have formula and diapers. If you have pets, make sure you have pet food. Number 2, charge everything. Charge your phones, your tablets, your laptops, your power banks. Charge them all fully before Friday. Number 3, fill up your gas tank. Even if you are not planning to drive, having a full tank means you can run your car periodically to warm up if the power goes out. Just make sure your car is not in a closed garage when you do this. Number 4, bring in anything outside that could blow around. Patio furniture, trash cans, decorations. High winds are possible with this storm. Number 5, know where your flashlights and candles are. Test your flashlights now. Make sure you have matches or a lighter. Number 6, if you have a fireplace or wood stove, stock up on firewood today. This could be your primary heat source if the power goes out. Number 7, identify one room in your house that you can heat and seal off if necessary. This becomes your safe room if the power is out for extended periods. Number 8, check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors. Make sure they are prepared. Offer to help them if needed. Number 9, fill bathtubs with water before the storm. Even if your water stays on, if the power is out for extended periods, water treatment plants can have issues. Having extra water never hurts. Number 10, download offline maps on your phone. If cell towers lose power, you might lose data, but you will still have GPS. Offline maps can help you navigate. Now, I promised you earlier that at the 5-minute mark, I would give you something specific. Here it is. The National Weather Service is going to start issuing warnings tomorrow, Thursday. When they do, They are going to specify whether your area is under a winter storm warning, an ice storm warning, or a blizzard warning. These are different and they matter. A winter storm warning means significant snow or ice. An ice storm warning means dangerous ice accumulations. A blizzard warning means heavy snow plus high winds creating whiteout conditions. Pay attention to which warning you get because it tells you what to expect. Also, the warnings will specify expected accumulations. When they say ice accumulations, they mean radial ice. That is the ice that forms around tree branches and power lines. A quarter inch of radial ice adds thousands of pounds of weight to trees. Half an inch is catastrophic. So when you hear these numbers, understand they are serious. Let me also talk about the wind. This storm is going to have strong winds, especially as it intensifies. Gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour are possible. That might not sound like much, but when trees are coated in ice, even moderate winds can bring them down. And when trees come down, they take power lines with them. So the combination of ice and wind is what makes this so dangerous. Now, some of you are in areas that are going to get mostly snow. You might be thinking, I am good. Snow is easy. But here is the thing. This is not going to be light, fluffy snow. This is going to be heavy, wet snow because there is so much moisture in the atmosphere. Heavy, wet snow also brings down trees and power lines. So even if you are in the snow zone, you are not off the hook. And for those of you way down south, in places like southern Georgia or Florida, you are not getting winter weather, but you are getting the cold. Temperatures are going to crash. Protect your pipes. Protect your plants. Bring pets inside. This is going to be a hard freeze that lasts for days. Let me talk about the human side of this for a moment. Winter storms are isolating. When the power goes out and the roads are impassable, you are on your own for a while. Emergency services will be overwhelmed. They will prioritize life-threatening situations. So you need to be self-sufficient. That means having a plan for heat. If you have a fireplace, great. If not, you need layers of clothing and blankets. Hypothermia is a real risk when it is cold inside for extended periods. It also means having a plan for food. You do not need fancy meals. You need calories, peanut butter, crackers, canned goods, granola bars, things that do not require cooking. And it means having a plan for communication. If the power is out, your Wi-Fi is out. Your landline might be out. Your cell phone is your lifeline. Keep it charged. Use it sparingly. Text messages use less battery than phone calls. Also, carbon monoxide poisoning is a risk during power outages. People use generators, camp stoves, even grills inside to stay warm. Never do this. Carbon monoxide is odorless and deadly. Generators must be outside, at least 20 feet from your house. Same with grills and camp stoves. Now, let me address the models one more time because I know some of you are model watchers. The European model has been consistent in showing a strong storm with significant impacts. The GFS model has been all over the place. One run shows a lot of snow, the next run backs off. This tells me the GFS is struggling with this setup, so I am putting more weight on the European. But here is the thing. Even the European could still shift. We are still 3 days out. The storm energy is not fully sampled yet, so do not be surprised if you see more changes in the forecast. What will not change is that this is a major winter storm and it is going to cause major problems. The ensembles, which are multiple runs of the models, are showing good agreement on the general setup. Big impacts from Texas to the Northeast. The exact placement of the worst snow and ice is still uncertain, but the overall pattern is locked in. This storm is happening. One more thing about the models. Some of you will see snowfall maps on social media showing huge totals for your area. Be cautious with these. Make sure they are from a reliable source. Also, some maps include sleet in their snow totals. Sleet and snow are different. Sleet is heavier and more compact, so a foot of snow is not the same as a foot of sleet and snow mixed together. Let me talk about travel. If you have travel plans this weekend, cancel them. Seriously, this is not a storm you want to be caught in. Airports are going to have massive delays and cancellations. Roads are going to be dangerous or closed. Just stay home. If you absolutely must travel, do it today or early tomorrow before the storm arrives. And if you are traveling, Pack an emergency kit for your car. Blankets, water, snacks, a flashlight, a phone charger. If you get stuck, you need to be able to survive in your car for several hours. Also, if you are traveling and you have to cross the affected area, understand that road conditions can change rapidly. A road that is wet can become icy in minutes when the temperature drops. Bridges and overpasses freeze first. So slow down. Give yourself extra space. And if conditions deteriorate, pull over and wait it out. Now, let me talk about what happens after the storm. The cleanup is going to take days, possibly weeks in some areas. Trees will be blocking roads. Power lines will be down. Do not approach downed power lines. Assume they are live. Call the power company and stay away. Also, be careful with cleanup. Chainsaws and exhaustion are a bad combination. People get hurt every winter storm trying to clear their property. Take your time. Ask for help. It is not worth an injury. The cold that follows the storm is also dangerous. Frostbite can occur in minutes when it is below freezing with wind. Cover all exposed skin. Wear layers. Limit time outside. And check on people, your neighbors, your friends, your family. A quick phone call or text can make a difference. Some people, especially elderly people living alone, might need help. Be that help. Let me give you one more important piece of information. If you lose power, report it to your power company. They need to know where the outages are, but understand they are going to be overwhelmed. Calling multiple times will not speed things up. Just report it once and then be patient. Also, power companies will prioritize repairs. Hospitals, emergency services, and areas with the most customers come first. If you are in a rural area, you might be waiting longer. It is not fair, but it is reality. So, prepare accordingly. Now, I want to talk about something that is going to happen in a few days. After this storm passes and the cold settles in, there is going to be a second wave of problems. Pipes are going to freeze and burst. This happens when temperatures stay below freezing for extended periods. To prevent this, let your faucets drip slightly. Keep cabinet doors open under sinks. If you have exposed pipes, wrap them in insulation or towels. If a pipe does freeze, do not use a blowtorch or open flame to thaw it. You will start a fire. Use a hairdryer or heating pad. And if a pipe bursts, know where your main water shutoff is. You need to be able to turn off the water quickly to minimize damage. Another issue that comes up is food spoilage. If the power is out, your refrigerator will keep food cold for about 4 hours if you keep the door closed. Your freezer will keep food frozen for about 48 hours if it is full, less if it is half full. After that, you need to decide what to keep and what to toss. When in doubt, throw it out. Food poisoning is not worth the risk. Also, if you have medications that require refrigeration, like insulin, you need a plan. Some medications can tolerate brief periods without refrigeration, but check with your pharmacist. You might need to find a friend or family member with power who can store your medication temporarily. Let me address pets one more time. Your pets feel the cold just like you do. Bring them inside. If you have outdoor animals, make sure they have shelter and access to unfrozen water. Check on them frequently. Hypothermia affects animals too. And if you have livestock, you have extra challenges. Make sure they have access to food and water. Break ice on water troughs. Provide windbreaks. If you can, bring vulnerable animals into a barn or shelter. Now, some of you are probably wondering, when will the next update be? I am planning to do another video this afternoon with the latest model runs. I will also do a live stream tonight to answer questions, and I will keep updating as long as this storm is a threat. So make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. Also, comment below if you have specific questions. I cannot answer everyone individually, but I read through comments and I try to address common questions in the next video. And if this information has been helpful, share this video. Send it to your family, your friends, your coworkers. The more people who are prepared, the better we all do during and after this storm. Let me leave you with this. Winter storms are serious, but they are manageable if you are prepared. Do not panic. Do not ignore it. Just take it seriously and make smart decisions. Stock up on supplies today. Charge your devices. Check on your neighbors. Have a plan for heat if the power goes out. And stay informed. The forecast is going to continue to evolve. What we know today might change tomorrow. So keep checking for updates. And remember, this is not just a one-day event. This is a multi-day event with lingering impacts. The storm hits this weekend, but the cold and the aftermath last into next week. So think long-term. Think about what you need for 7 to 10 days, not just 2 or 3. I know this has been a long update, but I wanted to make sure you have all the information you need. This is a significant storm. It is going to impact millions of people, but if we are all prepared, we will get through it. So again, comment below and let me know where you are watching from. I want to know how this storm is affecting your area, and I want to give you the best forecast I can for your specific location. Stay safe out there, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next update. Get prepared now while you still have time. This storm is coming, and it is going to be a rough one, but we will get through it together.